All right, welcome back, folks. Today I'm going to just give you a little lesson about what are called economic systems. So when you think about the economy, which is what economics focuses on, it's looking at like all the jobs, all the industries, all the ways people spend their time, money, stuff like that. So to build an economic system, you got different ways you can go about doing it. So we're going to talk about three different ones. One thing I want to kind of make clear though is that it's a spectrum. So you can be all the way over here with what's going to be called a market system, and be all the way over here with what's called a command system. But in reality, most countries are somewhere in between. You can be more closer to the market, more closer to command, but there really aren't any that are like all the way one way or the other. So a market economy is similar to what you call capitalism. You've probably heard that term. So in a nutshell, what that means is that people are free to do what they want, to create businesses, to invent things, to make products, and are able to compete with one another and sell them and hopefully like get rich and be successful and stuff like that. More concrete definition, so it's people can start and own businesses doing what in a truly market system, whatever they want. The government is not going to put any restrictions on them. And they will compete with one another to make better and cheaper products, which benefits us because we get better, cheaper stuff. Gives a lot of variety to people, leads to a lot of innovation. So if I want to look at market economy and boil it down to one word, I would say that word is competition. So what it means to compete, as I'm sure you guys know, is you're going up against someone or something, and the goal is to win, to do better than them. So in an NFL football game, if it's, I don't know, the Vikings versus Packers, those teams are going to be studying one another, looking for weaknesses in the other team that they can exploit and take advantage of so that they can win the game. Businesses do the exact same thing. One example I'm going to give you is like Samsung versus Apple, two of the biggest smartphone makers on the planet. They are constantly trying to make their phones better, and they're constantly studying their competitors' phones and seeing what they're doing that's working and trying to kind of like steal little ideas or take that idea and improve upon it and stuff like that. Because if you think about it, like in our country alone, probably 300 million people that have a smartphone. Average smartphone costs, I don't know, $500-$600. So that's 300 million times 600. That is tens of billions of dollars that, if I did the math right in my head, probably didn't, but tens of billions of dollars that these companies are competing to get. It's a lot of money, a lot of incentive to come up with a better phone. So they're going to try to make their phone better than their competitors. Better camera, longer lasting battery life, faster charging, stronger screen, so if you drop it, it won't break. And they're also going to try to make it cheaper, because if Apple can make an awesome new iPhone, but it costs $5,000, very few people are actually going to buy that. So again, we're the ones that win, the consumers, because we get better smartphones, and we get them for cheaper. And we can apply the same concept to everything out there. It doesn't just need to be smartphones. It can be sweaters, TVs, furniture, clothing, whatever. Some good things about competition, or about market economies. When companies compete, again, we get better stuff for cheaper. It drives innovation, so businesses are always trying to come up with something new and cool and helpful and revolutionary because you can make a lot of money selling it. And that's good for everyone, of course. And it rewards creativity. If you can come up with something that's new and fresh and creative, you can make a lot of money. If you click into the slides, this video is a helpful little thing to watch. It shows kind of how market economies first began in kind of a funny way. It looks at cavemen. So I'd recommend watching that. Some bad things about a market economy, if you're all the way over on that side, government stays totally out of it, okay? So that means people can do kind of whatever they want, which means they can price gouge. So if I came up with a medicine that cured cancer or something, I could say, yep, it's for sale, but it's $10 million, and that'd make it so like only the rich people could get it, which isn't super cool, but that's how it would work. I could pay my workers really low wages. I could pollute all that I want. The government stays out of it, okay? The other type, so again, this is market. Over here, we got what's called a command economy, which is also kind of known as communism. So again, if we're all the way over here, it means the government completely controls all aspects of the economy. They are going to control production, what they invest in, the prices of things. They'll even say what incomes for people are, what jobs everyone is going to do. So they can say like, hey, your job is to work in a shoe factory. If you don't want to work in a shoe factory, tough, you gotta. So in plain English, the government controls everything. They tell you what to make, how much to make, and they can increase their demands over time. And if you don't meet those goals, you could be punished. Oh, and up here I had a picture of, this is Kim Jong-il, the previous leader of North Korea, because North Korea would pretty easily fit into this command economy style. Some bad things about command economies: you don't have the freedom to make or do what you want. The government will tell you what to do. There's not going to be any competition because, again, you'll have a government-run shoe factory, government-run car factory, government-run phone factory, whatever. And so you don't have businesses competing against each other, so you're not getting better and better stuff. So the stuff that command economies are cranking out is normally not going to be the best. You're not going to have any real reason to work hard because in a market economy, if you start a business and you're successful, you can make a whole lot of money and have a really, really nice, wealthy life. In a command economy, all that money is going to be going to the government. So it doesn't really give you an incentive to work hard. Some good things about it: everyone should theoretically be equal, hopefully. Doesn't always work out that way in the real world. And the government will hopefully take care of you. So here's a little video you can watch that explains command economies. I'm not going to show it here though. So again, we have a spectrum. You got command all the way over here, market all the way over here, but in reality, most countries are somewhere in the middle, and we call that a mixed economy. So we take the best characteristics of capitalism and the best characteristics of a kind of socialism, communism, and we kind of mush them together. And it allows it so like we have economic freedom to make and do mostly whatever we want. But the government will step in and control certain things and put certain rules and laws to kind of protect the public. So some examples of that. Oh, here. So another definition. Market economy is great, but a mixed economy makes things a bit safer for us. It makes it so businesses have to follow certain rules set by the government, like food safety laws and anti-discrimination laws. Makes things more safe and fair. So if you need a drug that could save your life in a free market, a producer could charge whatever you want. But remember, in a mixed economy, the government can make sure that drug is sold at a fair price, which obviously is a good thing because it makes it so a larger population of people is going to have access to that drug. Food safety, like here in our country, which is a mixed economy, if you own a restaurant, there's certain rules you have to follow. You got to make sure that the food you're serving is somewhat fresh and isn't starting to rot. You got to store the food at proper safe temperatures and stuff like that. So if you own a restaurant, you're going to have food and health inspectors stop by at random times, and they're just going to make sure that the restaurant is preparing everything safely. And if that restaurant is found that they're not preparing it safely, they can get in trouble. There can be fines, or if it's real bad, they can be totally shut down. And again, that is in an effort to keep us safe. The government can put environmental regulations in place so that companies can't pollute too much. Companies still pollute some, but they set rules for how much they can pollute. And those rules tend to change based on who's in power, but that's how politics works. So those are the three types of, well, it's kind of two types of economic systems. Market over here, mixed over here, or excuse me, market over here, command over here. Most countries, somewhere in between. The United States, we're more closer to the market side of things. China, for example, they're more closer to the command side of things. So hopefully that makes sense. Yeah, I'll leave it at that.